This is the third segment in the lecture regarding ecological risk assessment as part of the Mobile Source Risk Assessment course, ME 760 at the University of Waterloo. We're going to compute the media concentration, soil concentration. We saw how it is done in previous lecture, including a Python code to go through the equations to estimate soil concentration, and the water concentrations, which is part of your final project. This is worth 30% of the total marks. And we will compute both the dissolved phase and the benthic phase. Remember, there is one more phase, which is the suspended phase, and that is composed of suspended particles that absorb some of the chemicals to those particles. Once you compute the water concentration, we compute plant and algae, consumer, which is the one that eats the plant, this is trophic level 2, and upper trophic levels. We compute the terrestrial plants, which the consumer, trophic level 2, will consume, the herbivores. We get the same as when we have human health risk assessment, because animal herbivores such as cows will eat these terrestrial plants. So we already went through this. And then concentration of fish, this is one example of the three equations we need for the fish concentration. Fish concentration will depend on the log KOW, that is the octanol partitioning coefficient and the log base 10 of that number. It is below 4, the log KOW, then we compute one way, above 4 we compute another way. Now if it is dioxin, furans, or PCBs, we must compute it in a third way. I will explain this when we get to develop the Python code for this. The ingestion, we already covered the ingestion rate times the concentration times the proportion of the I type food that we will have times the fraction of the food that the animal eats that is part of the same I for the concentration and for the proportion of the food, plus ingestion rate that we have for the plant or animal food, the concentration, and the proportion of the media that's contaminated. When we're doing equal diet, we eat all the products will be the same among all the groups. So if we have, it is an eagle and it eats lizards, snakes, small rabbits, and small other rodents, then it'll be 25% of each of these. So we call that equal diet, equally among these four. And then we do exclusive diets where these four elements that the eagle will eat, then it will be only small lizards, and then only the snake, and then only the rabbit, and then only other rodents, and that's exclusive diet. So we have an eagle having 4 types of food it eats, then we do 5 calculations. One equal diet for all the food it eats, and then the other 4 in the case of the eagle for each one of the groups being exclusive. And at the end, we compute just like we do with the hazard quotient. We do the ecological screening quotient, which is a ratio between the estimated exposure level and the TRV, the toxicity reference value. And if you have any questions, please don't be shy to email me.